Welcome to Electric Vehicle Weekly. If this is your first time watching, what we do is we talk about the news from the week on electric vehicles. So this week we are going to talk about the Sono Sion US tour, the Tesla Cybertruck sightings. We've also heard some information about the GMC Sierra EV Denali and the 2024 Polestar 3. So we're going to go through those items, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about Rivian and any of your questions that you have during this stream. We will definitely cover. Also, we'll answer any questions at the end. If you have any information that you'd like to discuss, pop it in the chat, and we'll go with that through that stuff. The other thing is if you haven't subscribed to OSR Garage, go down and click subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you get the alert when these videos are going to be coming out weekly. And if you're interested in becoming a member, you can click the join button. There are 3 different levels. It starts out as low as $3, and you get some behind the scenes things. You get to see videos before everyone else, a few little things like that, and you can also potentially get some free merchandise. So all right, so got that out of the way, and I want to thank everybody for being here. And those of you that are here, let me know where you're coming from in the chat so we see how far we are stretching across the United States or across the world. Would be awesome to see. All right, so the first thing we are going to talk about is the Sono Sion and its US tour. If you don't know much about the Sono Sion, I think I may have covered it at some point in time before. But what it is a solar EV. Now, they've been trying to bring this out for a few years now, and apparently they have about 20,000 reservations, and in the price tag starting out at about 25,000. Now they're doing this US tour because they're trying to drum up some fleet business in the United States because technically this car is an EV or sorry, is a European spec EV. And so there's some things that have to be changed for it to become a US model. So drawing up some fleet business, drumming up some fleet business would actually make it reasonable and give them a reason to make a US version. So if that happens, there is a possibility that it will be available for purchase in the US by us consumers. Now they were in New York and it was on display at Times Square, which you can see pictures here. It also was in Brooklyn on Wednesday, and they also have plans for stops in Boston, Detroit, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Now, they are going to start production in the second half of 2023, and that's going to be produced in Finland. And like I said, they do have 20,000 reservations, but from what I understand, is that they also have a lot of fleet reservations over in Europe. So it seems to be going over pretty well. And you can't see it in these pictures here, but if you don't know, the body panels, the hood, I'm not sure about the roof, but they are integrated with solar panels. So it can draw in energy and give you range while it's sitting outside in the sun on a daily basis. Now, it doesn't, I can't remember exactly what the numbers are on how much it draws in, but you just have to decide if that was something that makes sense to you. The problem with that is that they're hitting these cities, New York, Boston, Detroit. Those are all cold weather cities. I know that they're going to San Francisco and LA, but why wouldn't you hit San Francisco, LA, Florida, those places first? Because that is where the solar panels are going to benefit. In New York and those other places, when in the winter, you're not going to benefit much from those solar panels at all. So I'm guessing that they probably hit New York because they're thinking they might be able to pull in some of the taxi business, maybe. But we'll just have to see how that works out. So let me know if you guys are interested in the Sono Sion. Maybe I'll have to, if you guys are interested in that, or I get enough comments about it, then maybe I will do a video on it. But as for me, I don't really care for the looks of it. It just seems basic. So I kind of like something that looks has a little more edge to it. So, speaking of edge, let's talk about the GMC Sierra, this EV Denali. The Denali, of course, is their top of the line, which is the same as the Chevy Silverado. They came out with their RST as their first version that they're releasing, and that is that's the main, I guess, the main truck that they want everybody to see. It's probably they're going to be the first one that they produce, so I guess they'll put that out there and let everybody see what it looks like. So here is the front, and it looks a lot like the renderings that we have. So some of these other pictures that I've got coming up here are renderings, and but it does look very similar to them. So that was a plus side to actually get something that looks like the pictures that we've been seeing. So what I think and what I like is you can see there's no light bar. There's no giant light bar, just the GMC light up logo and the surround area, which would be like where the grill would be, is lit up. That I think is awesome. I think that's the amazing thing. I think they did a great job going away from the light bar that everyone else is putting on. So kudos to GM and making the Sierra look just a little bit different than everything else. Um, so the taillights though are going to be similar to the Hummer EV. And it's going to have a panoramic roof, and there is a video that is out. If you haven't seen it, it is down in the description, so you can actually check that out. And what in those pictures that it actually showed some of the interior, and somebody said that in the article that I read that it looked like there were possibly some quilted leather seats. So they may be, of course, this being the Denali, that would not surprise me for it to be high end like that. So it is going to be based on GM's Ultium platform, and it's expected to have the same 200 kilowatt hour battery that the Silverado EV has. So you're looking at possibly up to 400 miles of range. It's going to be on an 800-volt architecture. So you're going to have that high speed charging of up to 350 kilowatts. And it's claiming 100 miles of range in 10 minutes. So that sounds pretty cool. With the charging curve and everything, if you're going from 0 to 100%, you're still looking at going to be there for over an hour to charge that big of a battery. But if you look at 10% to 80%, you might be able to get out of there in, 40, 50 minutes, maybe. We'll have to see how that pans out. So what do you guys think about this Sierra Denali? I mean, I like the way that it looks so far, and the video looked pretty cool. So I think I'll probably be putting a reservation in on this, just so I've got a chance to buy one. Not that I will, but I would like to have the option of being able to get it if I choose to. Um, so we'll just have to see how that works out. And that should all be starting up October 20th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Eastern is when that's going to debut. I would assume that they are going to start your reservations at that time also. So be ready to be hitting and clicking your refresh over and over and over again. Um, all right. So we got a couple people in here watching. Where are you guys from? Pop in that chat and let me know where you're from so I can see. And we're gonna move on to maybe what everybody wants to see, the Tesla Cybertruck. We're still waiting. Everyone's still waiting for it. So here is a picture of two Cybertrucks that, well, at least these are pictures of items that are covered that look like Cybertrucks. And this was taken at GigaTexas. So we'll have to see if they're going to start producing these soon. So these are probably prototypes. And so the info that I've gotten is the Cybertruck was unveiled in late 2019, and Tesla has revised its dimensions and design several times over the last 5 years. But earlier this year, Elon confirmed that the plans are finalized and that they will start production in 2023. Now, of course, the biggest thing that we've had lately is them saying, wait till next year. It'll be next year. Maybe next year. It's starting to sound like the Cybertruck has the Chicago Cubs old motto of wait till next year. But we'll have to see what happens there. Something else that I wanted to show you guys was, so what we know is what the Cybertruck originally looked like. So we know that this is what we are expecting to see. And I personally don't like the looks of the dimensions, the way that it looks like a triangle or a pyramid or whatever you want to call it. I just don't like that style. I know a lot of people do, and it's just a personal preference of mine. I would like my truck to actually look like a truck. This thing looks like more like of a military vehicle. I mean, could you imagine, which would be pretty cool, and I wouldn't be surprised if the military like tries to buy up a bunch of these. Could you imagine driving into a country with 100 of these, just one right after another, come rolling into a country? I think that would be a huge, make a huge presence driving these things. So that would be pretty cool. But so what I am looking at is I saw some old renderings and or maybe they're new renderings, I don't know, of what I think would be awesome if the Tesla Cybertruck looked like this. And if it looked like this, I would lay down all the money that I have and say, I'll give you whatever. Because this is sweet. And here we go. This is what I would picture the Cybertruck looking like. And it would be something that I would really love to see. I would drive that thing. I would put, like I said, I would try to be first in line to get one of these. And it is so cool. It's just edgy. It still looks like a truck. It's stylish. It's lifted way high. It's got big wheels on it. It looks like that just looks like a Tesla Cybertruck. That's what I would picture a Cybertruck to look like. So I don't know who did those renderings or what it is, but I want one and I hope somebody builds something like that. That would be pretty awesome. Okay, so we got here is all right, Silver Noir. Do you think GM is going to play any more fairly than Ford? I hope so. I hope they've learned from what Ford has done and seen and probably heard all the reports of the people that are upset about the way that this has been going. And because there are people that had day one reservations that still have not gotten invited to order their truck. And I mean, that's just ridiculous. If you, they, I don't care that it was dealership allocations and stuff like that. That shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter whether that dealership gets allocations or not. If you have 50 people that chose that dealership that they want it from, you go down the reservation list, and if those are the first 50 people on the reservation list, you send 50 trucks to that dealership because they paid their money. They sat there and hit refresh and hit refresh and hit refresh until they got in and got their reservation posted. So they should be just following the line, and wherever that truck gets shipped, that's just where it gets shipped. Let people order the trucks that they want to order and stop being so ridiculous with all this. I really hope GM does so much better. And if they do, you're probably going to have a lot of people convert to GM if they see they're doing things the right way. So, and all right. So, Wisconsin, Silver North. All right. Um, So the next thing that we got now is the Polestar 3. So I don't know if anybody's seen anything about it yet, but the Polestar 3 is a new electric um, SUV from Polestar, of course. And this is what it looks like. So it is built on the same platform as the Volvo EX90. And it's a dual motor all-wheel drive, and it's rated at 489 horsepower plus 620 foot-pounds of torque. Now you can option for a $6,000 performance pack, which increases the horsepower to 517 horsepower and 671 foot-pounds of torque. The 0 to 60 is 4.9 seconds in the standard, and it goes to 4.6 seconds with the performance pack. Now, the top speed on it is 130 miles per hour. It has a 111 kilowatt hour battery with up to 300 miles of range, or 300 miles of what they said EPA range. It seems a little low. With a 111 kilowatt hour battery, if you're only getting 300, you don't have a very efficient vehicle. Is what I would think. Um, that 300 miles actually will probably end up being somewhere around 320 or 330 when they actually do the testing and get it all lined out. But we figure that Polestar's probably shooting low and hoping to come in over that. It always looks better if you put lower numbers and come up with a higher one above it. Um, with the performance pack, it will drop it down to 270 miles. So if we figure the other one might go up 20 or 30 miles, you might be looking at the same on the performance pack. You might get another 10 or 20 miles out of that. It does come with a heat pump. The DC fast charging is up to 250 kilowatts, which is another thing that this is based on a 400-volt system. 250 kilowatts is not technically possible on a 400-volt system because it's going to limit the amperage. But there seems to be some software information that we don't know about quite yet. Kyle from Out of Spec kind of said the same thing. That maybe it has a switch in it that allows it to charge at a faster speed, kind of like switching it from 400 to 800 volt only when charging or something like that. So we'll have to see how that comes out. The only other car that I've heard anything like this about is the Fisker Ocean. Fisker Ocean is said to be a 400-volt system, and it's claiming on their website that they can charge up to 250 plus kilowatts per hour. Or kilowatts, not per hour. So we're gonna have to see what happens there. There's been a lot of questions about the Fisker Ocean, and it didn't make sense that it would say 250, but now maybe it's making a little more sense. Maybe there's some technology that we are not aware of or really haven't seen yet. So that's pretty cool to see. They say charging is going to be 10% to 80% in about 30 minutes. Level 2 charging, they're saying in about 11 hours. So that might be, the level 2 charging might be from 0 to 100. I'm not positive on that. But if it's the 10 to 80, that seems like a little slow, but maybe not. It's bidirectional charging, and it's going to also have torque vectoring and air suspension, and it has the Android Automotive operating systems, which, if people don't know, the Android Auto app on your phone that connects to the operating systems in the cars is different than Android Automotive operating system. It's two complete different things. They don't necessarily even link together. And Polestar's always been using the Android Automotive, but I thought somewhere that somebody said that they don't integrate Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So I might be wrong on that. And so if I am, just ignore what I said. But Android Auto app on your phone that connects to operating system is different than Android Automotive. So just so everybody understands that. There is one other thing that I wanted to talk about with this Polestar 3. They have a couple little packages that you can add on, but the one I wanted to talk about was the Plus Pack. The Plus Pack has 25 speakers. Now I'm trying to figure out, where are you going to fit 25 speakers into this car? I mean, 25 speakers, that's just ridiculous. Do you really need 25 speakers? It's crazy. It also, that Plus Pack will have it come with a heated steering wheel, soft closed doors, heads up display, and park assist. So now, looking at these pictures, you can see that here's the charging port here, and I believe it's on the driver's side rear is where I think that I saw it. This right here is kind of like having a front spoiler. So the air actually comes in underneath there and then goes over the top of the car. It kind of stabilizes the wind because SUVs have a bigger fascia. So when the wind hits it, it kind of wants to flip and just go everywhere. Well, this will actually streamline the wind across the hood and up and out. Here is the driver display. It is very similar to the Fisker Ocean. It is smaller and it sits right inside the steering wheel, which is pretty nice. Here is one of the speakers that's on the dash, I believe, right in the center. It's another picture of the interior. Like I said, it's got that driver display there in the middle of the steering wheel. It looks like it's got a pretty good size infotainment screen. Looks like it's probably about 17 inches. Very similar, again, to the Fisker Ocean. The back looks like it's got a lot of room, which is very, very good. That's kind of a big thing right now. It does look like it's got some piano black in there, which I know some people like, some people don't like. I don't mind some because it kind of gives it a little more class and kind of, inside the car. But you get too much and then you just start seeing fingerprints everywhere. Here in the front, across here, there's a camera, and then there's like several sensors, several ultrasonic sensors, all built into that front little piece to monitor everything out in front of you. It also is equipped with a heating element so that it keeps the ice and the snow and everything melted off the front of that so it doesn't affect any of those sensors. And you don't have things kind of going haywire inside the car. What do we got next on the pictures here? Let's see what we got. Okay, so here's the front lighting, and this is your daytime driving lights. And of course, they call this the Thor's hammer lights, but it's a kind of a signature of Polestar. It's pretty cool. I like seeing that in the front. It's a really nice touch. Down here on the sides, of course, it's got this black. I don't know if you want to call it, looks like plastic, but flat black trim along the bottoms and above the wheels, which is kind of signature of an SUV or a crossover. Then you got the tail light. So, back here in the back, down at the bottom, we've got these little winglet things, and this kind of helps direct air around. So that kind of makes it a little more aerodynamic in the back. And the back light bar looked pretty cool. These wheels, I don't know if I really like those or not. They're okay. I think that they probably could have had a better design there. But other than that, it looks stylish. It looks appealing. Looks like something that I would consider driving. Uh, what do you guys think? Is it something that you'd be interested in? Just, I guess I should tell you the price point on it. Last price point I heard was somewhere around $85,000 to start. So I'm not sure where all of that $85,000 is. Of course, here's a picture of looks like so a camera system, a few little items on the infotainment screen, but I just can't see paying $85,000 for that car. I know Polestar is nice, and I though there's the frunk. Is that justify $85,000 for the frunk? I mean, it looks decent size. I mean, you can probably get a duffel bag in there, maybe some groceries. Um, but but yeah, 85,000 I think is a little too much for that. I would have to drive it to see if I think it's worth it. Like I drove a Rivian for the weekend, and after I drove it for the weekend, I actually fell in love with the truck, and I was like, okay, everything that this truck does, it actually is worth the money. But I don't think this car does half of what the Rivian truck does. So yeah, so I'm not real sure what the plan is there. All right. So, got any questions about anything? Any comments? A few more people popped in here. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button so we can kind of pass this on around to everybody. Um, so I guess I'll go ahead and start talking. If you guys got anything in the comments, just go ahead and drop it in there. I'm going to start talking about, I was just saying that I had a Rivian for the weekend. So I'm going to pop up some pictures of what our Rivian looked like. So I've driven two now. So the first one that I drove was a launch edition, and it was in the launch green. I only had it for about an hour. So it was a real quick video, just kind of walk around real quick, showed a few things, did a little bit of driving, and then I had to take it back to the dealership. So this time, the dealership let me keep it for the entire weekend. And so, if you guys are looking for new or used vehicles, get a hold of Heller Ford in El Paso, Illinois. You can look them up online. And if you call there and you're looking for something, they've got a lot of vehicles online, not just Ford. So, um, but if you're looking, if when you get a hold of them, tell them the OSR Garage sent you, so they know that you saw me on YouTube, and ask for Pete Oldham. He is a great salesman, and he will help you out. Okay, so here is our Rivian that we had for the weekend. Here's a few pictures. We were looking at trying to getting thumbnails and stuff like that. We were trying out different things just to see what we thought would work for a good thumbnail. If you see one of these pictures that you think is probably a better thumbnail than the one that I have up, because I did post it this morning at 10 o'clock. It's basically just the walk around, and then I'm going to do a driving video. Probably be up on Friday. And so it's linked down in the description, right underneath the GMC Denali video. And so go check both of those out. So this is my wife kind of hanging out of the gear tunnel. So you can actually see that gear tunnel is a pretty good size. I was actually in it, and that was my legs that were sticking out of it. But this color on this is actually limestone. And I'm not sure why it's called limestone, but it does have a blue tint to it, as you can see in here. But in the video, it kind of almost looked like more of a tealish color. It was really weird. So, video and lighting and stuff is odd. Is odd. So I don't know what the actual color is, but this does have the 22-inch black wheels, and the truck was just amazing. Let me tell you, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever it is completely ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. There is no reason to actually ever go accelerate that fast. You'll see in my driving videos, it was pretty crazy. Um, But really did love the truck. And I mean, it took me, I don't know, a day of driving it all day and playing around with it and doing different stuff. And we used it as a daily, as just like, what if we had this and we were going to go do our daily stuff? Is this something that would be functional for us? Would it be something that we could use on a daily basis, just running errands and doing that type of stuff? Or is this more of a dedicated adventure vehicle? Which coincides with the trim level. This trim level was the Adventure line, which is basically replaced the Launch Edition after the Launch Edition sold out. So um, we, I really did fall in love with the truck. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun, and at first I really wasn't a big fan of the color, but I really did fall in love with the color. So Rivian did a great job with these trucks. I know there's some things that they've had to go in and fix. They've had to adjust some things. They've had a few recalls on a few little items, but nothing has been major. Even the last one where they recalled all of them for a loose nut or loose torque bolt on the upper control arm, it was an easy fix. You don't even have to make an appointment. If you have a Rivian service center, they were just letting people pull up. All they had to do is raise it up to the max height, turn the wheels, and then they got in there and they just wrenched and just torqued it down a little bit tighter. That's all it took. It didn't take anything. Most people were out of there in 10 or 15 minutes and back on their way. So it wasn't any big issue. The biggest issue that they have right now is the tonneau cover, the automatic tonneau cover. It's not a very good design, and Rivian is working on getting something different or replacing them, fixing them, whatever the case may be. But it is something that will be covered under warranty, and they know that there are a lot of trucks out there that where the tonneau cover has just not worked very good at all. So that's something they are working on. Um, but other than that, I really don't have a whole lot more to talk about with you guys. So if you got anything, pop it up in the comments real quick. And while you guys are thinking of any questions that you might want to ask or anything you want to talk about before I go, I'm just going to let you know. If you haven't been to OSR Garage, you haven't watched one of these live streams before, go down and click subscribe and turn on your bell notifications so you can see these live streams when they pop up weekly. Also, memberships are available. Click the join button. There's 3 different levels, as low as $3. Um, and you get to see videos with that membership. You get to see videos before everyone else. So those videos will be posted into the memberships only area for a period of time, and before I release them out on YouTube for everyone else. So you definitely, you get to see stuff before everyone else. So makes it worth it. So Silver North says, like how you present information, even with weird Illinois accent. Okay, you're from Wisconsin. Um, that's kind of funny. Appreciate that. Um, wish you provided more in your joint thing with Sean. Yeah. Well, and see, the thing with Sean is that it's his live stream, Fiskarati. It's his live stream, and he's the one that has all the information, most of the information on that stuff. We all, keep up to date with everything, but it's his show to bring the information to you guys. And I appreciate everybody being on there and coming every week to watch us and listen to us talk and everything. And the good thing is that we did add the third person in, Matt, with Tesla tips. It's a benefit because he has some additional EV knowledge. He's owned EVs longer than both of us, and so it's good to have him on there to give some more insight. But Sean has the inside with Fisker, so he gets information that we don't always get to see or hear about. So our job is to just kind of chime in and kind of give you guys some information. Um, about other things, not inside Fisker, but the other aspects of owning an EV, like the charging and what kind of chargers you need and that type of stuff. And we're all constantly working on videos to try to bring that stuff to you guys to let you guys know. Um, I know Matt was showing the charging adapter for the CCS and the Tesla, and he's gonna go across country, or he's going to take this next trip whenever he takes it, that he's actually going to do video and he's going to charge only at CCS chargers. So EVgo, Electrify America, the type of stuff that we're going to be using on our Fisker Oceans and other EVs. I mean, anything other than a Tesla is going to use those chargers. So that's going to be a great video. I'm going to put a video together, different charging levels, using a level 1 charger that sometimes car manufacturers provide. Volkswagen did provide us with the level 1 charger. So I'm going to show what that does, how easy it is to use, what the charging rate is on it, or charging speed on it. Also a level 2 that I have installed right now, and what the speed is charging on that. And mine is a dual charge system. So I can charge at 16 amps or I can charge at 32 amps. Right now we're charging at 16, and we're getting ready to upgrade our system, and we'll be able to charge then at 32 amps. And we're going to see what the charging speed on that is. And then, of course, we've also got, your level 3 DC fast charging. And, we know that the Volkswagen ID4 tops out at 125 kilowatts. And a lot of EVs that are coming out now are well above that. And also, if you are an ID4 owner, there is a new software update that's going to come out, and we are supposed to be getting notified before the end of the year to make an appointment with our dealership, and they're going to change out the 12-volt battery, and they're going to install a new software. From what I'm hearing is, I heard one report that it was going to be 3.1 software, and I've also heard people say that Volkswagen is telling them 3.0. But either way, we're going to jump up. We're going to bypass the 2.4 and all that other stuff and go straight to a newer software, which will help out our infotainment screen, our operating system, and is supposed to boost our charging speed up to 135 kilowatts. So, all right. That is all that I have for you guys. Thanks for coming. I hope to see you guys next week. See you later. Have a great week.